So it seems like Donald Trump isn't just talking about taking on the media. He's actually doing it. This isn't just another one of his rants or offhanded remarks. This is something more deliberate and calculated. Let's break it all down because this could have far-reaching consequences. First off, Trump recently made a comment that's worth paying attention to. Ian said, and I'm paraphrasing here, look, I don't want to do this, but I feel like I have to. I'm suing people in Iowa, specifically their newspaper, because of a pollster who used to get everything about me right. But then just before the election, they released a poll saying I was going to lose Iowa by 3 or 4 points. That poll went viral. It became this massive story, not just in Iowa, but globally. Everyone was talking about how I was supposedly losing Iowa, but as we all saw, I ended up winning the state by 20 points. So clearly something shady was going on here. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Now, the pollster Trump is referring to is Ann Selzer, who is well regarded in the field of polling. She's known for her accuracy, or at least she used to be. Trump is accusing her in the Des Moines Register, the newspaper that published the poll, of manipulating the numbers on purpose to hurt his campaign and help Kamala Harris. And this accusation isn't just rhetoric anymore. Trump has actually filed a lawsuit against Selzer in the Des Moines Register in Iowa State Court. The lawsuit claims that their poll was a deliberate attempt at election interference, a bold claim to say the least. The suit goes even further, accusing Selzer and the newspaper of being part of a broader conspiracy to help Democrats. According to Trump, this wasn't just a bad poll. It was a weapon. It was designed to suppress Republican voter turnout by creating a narrative that Harris was on track to win. Trump's team is calling it suppression polling, where polls are allegedly rigged to discourage voters by making them think their candidate doesn't stand a chance. But here's the catch. There's absolutely no evidence to back any of this up. None. I've read through the entire lawsuit, and honestly, it's a mess. It's filled with wild claims and speculation, but no concrete proof. Legal experts are already predicting that it'll be dismissed, and yeah, that's not really the point, is it? Trump knows this case is a long shot. Winning isn't his main goal here. What he's really doing is sending a message. He's trying to scare pollsters, journalists, and media outlets into thinking twice before they publish anything that could hurt them. This is intimidation, plain and simple. Think about the implications. If Trump succeeds in making examples out of people like Ann Selzer, it could change the way polling and media coverage work. Pollsters might start skewing their numbers in his favor just to avoid being sued. Media outlets might pull their punches to avoid getting dragged into court. This is about creating a chilling effect where the fear of retaliation silences criticism and discourages honest reporting. And ironically, it could lead to the very thing Trump claims to hate, manipulated polling, except this time the manipulation will work in his favor. But Selzer and the Des Moines Register aren't the only ones in Trump's crosshairs. He's also targeting Bob Woodward, one of the most respected journalists in the country, and the publisher Simon & Schuster. Trump is suing him for $49 million, claiming they improperly used interviews he gave for Woodward's book Rage. Now, let's be clear. Trump voluntarily sat for those interviews. He knew they were for a book, but now he's acting like he was tricked or taken advantage of. A judge recently denied Trump's request to expedite this case, but that hasn't stopped him from pushing forward. And this brings us to the bigger picture. Trump's war on the media, he's not just filing lawsuits for the sake of it. He's weaponizing the legal system to punish and intimidate anyone who dares to criticize him. And unfortunately, the media itself is making it easier for him to do this. Take ABC News, for example. Trump recently sued them and George Stephanopoulos over a comment Stephanopoulos made about the E. Jean Carroll case. Specifically, Stephanopoulos said that a jury found Trump guilty of rape. Now, technically, the jury didn't use the word rape. They found Trump liable for sexual abuse, which is legally defined differently under New York law. But the judge in that case essentially said that the evidence showed Trump did what most people would consider rape. So Stephanopoulos' comment wasn't some wild misrepresentation. It was a reasonable interpretation of the fact. And yet ABC News decided to settle the lawsuit for $15 million. Why? Probably because they didn't want to deal with a prolonged legal battle, but by settling, they handed Trump a huge victory. Now he can claim that he was vindicated, even though the case never went to trial. Then that's dangerous. It encourages him to like keep filing these lawsuits knowing that some media outlets will cave rather than fight back. And this isn't just an ABC problem. It's happening across the board. Media companies, tech giants, and even individual journalists are bending the knee to Trump. They're prioritizing their own interests, whether that's maintaining access, avoiding lawsuits, or protecting their bottom line, over standing up for the truth. Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, CNN, they've all made compromises. They've all played along to some extent, and every time they do, it makes the media landscape a little less safe, a little less free. This is why I've been saying for years that we can't rely on corporate media to save us. These companies aren't in the democracy business, they're in the profit business. They'll plaster their websites with slogans about protecting democracy, but at the end of the day, they're going to do whatever serves their shareholders. If that means selling out their principles to get in Trump's good graces, so be it. And that's why we need strong, independent, progressive media more than ever. We need outlets that aren't afraid to speak truth to power, even when it's risky. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm not in this for access or profit. I'm not trying to cozy up to Trump or anyone else in power. I'm here to tell the truth, hold people accountable, and fight for a stronger, fairer democracy. So if you believe in that mission, I hope you'll support this channel. Subscribe, share this video, and help us build a media ecosystem that actually stands up for what's right, because the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just about Trump or the media. It's about the future of our democracy.